Record. Okay. So I'll do some editing later on. Testing. Okay. All right, cool. So yeah, if I'm not too loud, just be liberal. If I'm too loud, just let me know. I still have to adjust a lot. And yeah, I'm not an expert. So we just got through the introductions downstairs. We have Casey, local activist, and you just want to go by Charlie?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes,
Charlie.
sir. Charlie Jackson, real estate agent.
Yeah.
West Realty, Harrisonburg.
Yeah,
that's
the
me.
teacher. Yeah, super cool. And I was just telling Charlie before you got off the phone that if we go into the area of sports, I feel like because he was a sneakerhead, he's probably even more knowledgeable than me because I'm kind of a niche sports enjoyer.
Right.
I play rugby, so I do the local Rocktown Rugby Club,
Okay.
and I used to really like basketball, but I think the relationship with my mom kind of pushed me away from it.
Right.
So I play it locally, but I don't really follow the players or the league, and I'm kind of in and out, dipping my toe in football. Went to one Ravens game ever in my life, and yeah, it was cool, but it was super cold, and that's kind of my my gist of the sports era. You know what I mean? I haven't done a fantasy football since 2010. So just give you some reference. That's probably
time.
Charlie's, and maybe if you speak to sports more. But yeah, thanks. This podcast, as I was telling Charlie, is just about male topics from a more optimistic angle perspective.
Right.
I feel like if you're familiar with the manosphere, there's always like negative elements tied to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I just imagine there's a dad on a long drive and he wants something to listen to, and this podcast is just right in his wheelhouse because it's kind of like kids, work, tech, and I go with the slogan like you can put anything in there, as far as cargo pants is concerned. So
Right.
and that's something that dads wear or whatever. And even the acronym CPP comes from a coding language called C++.
Right.
So yeah, people who in tech kind of know about that and they align with that, and that helps drive conversation. So man, I'm gonna let you guys kind of take it away. Got any questions for each other, anything like that? Anything kind of want to
What's your favorite
Toss
sports
in.
team?
Favorite sports team?
Or we start with football since football season is on.
Sure. Yeah. Around the corner.
Okay.
So I grew up outside of the D.C. area.
Yes, sir.
So Northern Virginia. So that meant the Commanders,
Yes,
obviously
sir.
with their old name. Was a big fan of them growing up because that's all that was on the TV. My parents didn't want to pay for cable.
Got your Fox 5.
But my dad is a huge Seahawks fan. He grew up in Seattle. So he was always following the Seahawks, but like we were really Commanders fans, which has been a bummer up
They
until
play each other
recently.
this year. I'm on the
Yes,
schedule.
yeah. So that's exciting. There'll be a lot of live language in the group chat for
Gotcha.
my family, but love the Commanders. I wasn't really a big fan of our previous owner, but now that we have new ownership, I have a little bit of hope. And then like DC sports to a degree. But as I really got into the NBA in college, especially, I would say I'm more of a fan of like specific players and
Gotcha.
like seeing the way that they develop
Right.
over time. How about you?
Same thing. Commanders fan. I'm a hometown guy, so
Okay.
I go with the hometown teams. Virginia
Yeah.
Tech, Virginia Cavaliers.
Okay.
Washington D.C. Obviously the Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
Really excited about the Stephon Diggs signing.
Oh man,
Yeah. So yeah. we'll
so
talk
good,
about that.
so good. Yeah, yeah. I mean, so to that point, he's a little bit older, but a lot of the advanced metrics that I've seen show that even though he is on the older side, he still has a step, still is able to create separation. Really excited for him as a wide receiver too. It is a little scary with your two best wide receivers kind of being north of north of that 28, 29 range. So
Gotcha. Yeah.
I hope they can stay healthy all season. But yeah, like I'm glad that the draft went the way it did because it forced our ownership to kind of make defensive
Right.
signings and like pick up some good defensive
Gotcha.
players.
Sonny
So-
Styles. Yeah, big
oh,
name.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. So, because it would have been tempting, I think, for us to go get Jeremiah Love if he was still on the board.
True.
But I don't think he would have been good for our team development.
I understand. Yeah. Well, they haven't worked out. You know, they have Chase Young.
But yes.
You know,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
you know, the big names coming out of
Absolutely.
college haven't really worked out too much for us. But yeah.
Hopefully this time.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the Rotary Club, let me pronunciate, but really excited about what you've told me about it, and
Sure.
you know, and that y'all are willing to partner, you know, what I mean, in the community and make things different. And so, really looking forward to traveling that road with you. You know, what I mean, I accept the challenge and I accept the invitation as well. You know, what I mean, to walk with you in that. Anything that is good for our community, and I can see the genuineness in you. You know what I mean? So anybody that I meet that is genuine and really is with walking with the community and making about change, I'm willing to partner with them as well. So
Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, Casey. For context, yeah, Marlon, do you want to jump in and kind of talk about what that is?
Oh, I was actually going to hand it back to Casey and really ask him because I don't think you got a chance to explain your activism angle, right, and what you're currently doing. I did see you do some really cool things outside with I think. Can you speak on it? You know, I think you're handing out food and things like that.
yeah, it actually started just as a vision. You know, just being able to come back to the community and give back things to the community to show them that, you know, everybody's not looking to get something out of them. You know what I mean? And that everything doesn't have a string attached, basically. A big thing was when I was handing out things, they would always ask me, like, what are you doing it for? Or can we give you anything or anything? I'm like, no, I'm giving it back to you. So it just started with an idea and, you know, just to spread a little hope and spread a little love throughout the community. So I gathered some things, some donations from family and different members, and we just went and just started, you know, set up some tables and handed out. And as it kind of snowballed a little bit, people started to recognize what I was doing. Then we got a little bit more sponsorship and different people to bring a partnership with us.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's the third year. The first year was kind of small. I mean, you can follow it all on Facebook. You know, start off with like 2 tables, had a little bit of food, waters out there, chips. You know, it's kind of small. A few house items, a little bit of clothes that was donated. The next year we had we actually ran out the park. We fed like 100 and some people. You know what I mean? We had door prizes and different gifts and music for the people, and we held that in Elkton at Munger Shelter. And so that's kind of the big event. You know what I mean? Then this year that we partnered with Tropical Smoothie and Mr. J's Bagel. And they donated some food and drinks for us to give out. And so we gave out about 100 people as well. You know what I mean? Just speak to the people, let them know, you know, we love them, you know, share Christ with them as well. You know, I'm a spiritual person. So share that with them, let them know Christ love them, we love them, and that he's there for them. And if he can make a change in me, he can make a change in anybody.
That's awesome, man. How often do you do that?
We do it periodically throughout the year. We try to do it around holidays because, you know, it's a down season for a lot of people, you know what I mean? Especially people don't have family or people are out here, you know, wandering from place to place. You know, they need that love in those times. You know what I mean? So around the holidays, so we do like Christmas. We do Thanksgiving sometimes. We've done Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then we have an annual every year, you know what I mean? And not to speak too much about incarceration. I mean, don't be surprised. Yes, I did a little bit, but the 24th of July is when I was released. So I try to do it around that time every year, you know what I mean, as a reminder of freedom, you know, and freedom for them, freedom for me as well.
That's awesome, man. Wow, so you said the magic word. So I'll probably jump back to it in a second, but I did want to inform you about Democratic Socialists of America. Are you familiar with that?
I am not.
All right, so that's a big organization that's becoming more prominent around the country because of the elections.
Right.
But locally, there's a young lady who is trying to form a chapter here, and she's doing some things in the community that I think is very commendable. She's doing like what you would consider a breakfast program.
Okay.
In the morning, and I think it's like they might, I don't know if it's daily or once a week, but they are giving out sandwiches and just breakfast sandwiches, and I think some coffee or juice.
Right.
And just to figure out, and when I spoke to her, learning the mechanics and the effort in order to set that up, and how how involved it was. You know, I really wanted to spread the word at her effort because I think that kind of aligns with what you're doing as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So yeah, I could put you in touch with her. I think that'd be great, and I hope our branch can partner with both of you to bring light to the efforts that we're making in the community. You know,
Yes, sir.
so really excited about that. Back to the angle of freedom. A really commendable lady in the community. Her name is Esther. I'm going to just say her first name. I think she was a past president of the branch a while back in its earlier years. And she came back after we were able to pull off the gala. The gala is something that I cobbled together to prove that the branch was able to function again.
Yes, sir.
So we took I think it was the local retirement center. We was able to use their hall, and we had a small gathering of 100 folks, and we had them see what we did during that year.
Right.
And it engaged Esther, and she reinvigorated the this is basically the flagship banquet of an ACP branch.
Gotcha.
It's called the Freedom Fund Banquet, and that is September 20th.
Right.
And I think that you would like that. I think that'd be great. And it's historically the Freedom Fund banquets, because of the civil rights activism that was going on. They would hold the banquets to raise enough money in order to get folks out of jail. You
Right.
know? So it's all about that. It's coming full circle. And honestly, I think the local branch can do so much more with people once they learn that it's made up of them. I did want to ask some kind of poignant or critical questions. Let me know if my volume is okay.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
to get-
sound great.
Okay. Thanks. To get a understanding of how I can better approach, to be honest, people of color,
Right.
because our actual members are they are more, I guess, well into their careers, likely more financially stable in a lot of situations, and understand more so the mission, but they do not closely enough represent the people that the branch is supposed to serve.
Right. I understand the culture.
Yeah,
Right.
and not that I call out to that. I'm super excited about that. I appreciate that, but I want people to know that the branch is built for them,
Right.
and the power comes from the people who join together and share the load.
Right.
So, just I'll jump right in with like maybe a question regarding what was your, and I'll answer this question too. And maybe we could, Charlie, if you'd like to step in as well with the question, because I think it's a really valid question. But maybe in your younger years, or think about your perspective from the outside looking in. What did you think the NAACP was?
I appreciate what you're saying, and definitely seeking out the go between or what's holding that back. So I do understand that, and I would say that the culture respects real. So if they feel as if you're coming in any way, not yourself, they're going to be able to peep that. Definitely off the rip. So so definitely just be yourself first of all. That's what they gotta do. It doesn't matter what background you come from, what culture you come from. Be yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know something, just ask the question. And if they're open-minded to the idea, which they should be, because they're coming into an arena where they're supposed to be learning from one another. So, if they're open-minded, then they'll be willing to answer your question and willing to accept, some things that you may not know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's always good, like you said, to have a face there, somebody that they trust, obviously, so that, if they do feel anyway uncomfortable or anything like that, they can ask questions to somebody who they feel a little bit more comfortable with. So, I try to play that role, I've had that job for a while now, been hands-on with both sides, trying to relay from one side to the other side, what the requirements are from one side and what the needs are from the other side. So, so I've been trying to do that, and then in between trying to mentor both sides as well, the need side of how to comply with how to get their needs met, and as well as the people who have the resources and what actually the needs are. Because sometimes we're both off, you know what I mean, off target, what we're trying to do. And so I would say just basically be genuine, come in as yourself, you know what I mean, and be open about your mission and what you're trying to do. And once you get that off your chest and understand what both people are there for, I think that opens up the lines for growth.
Okay, appreciate that. I'm gonna take that as advice to be better. But let me bring back to the question, and maybe I'll answer it. Right?
Go ahead.
So NAACP, and honestly, I really want to be candid about this because to bring out the truths, because I did not know what the NAACP was.
True, understand.
When I was 18, 21, things like that, in my younger years. I used to get it confused with NCAA.
Right.
And because people say NAACP, and then I see the NCAA and March Madness and stuff, I'm like, why does this organization hold this basketball? Because I know basketball and black people, you know, kind of like, and I don't feel like, man, see, that's me making us a monolith, right?
Right. Well,
And
first
like,
you should probably use the actual name instead of abbreviation. It'll
Yep.
give you a little either insight on what you're trying to do.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? When you say, like you said, the NAACP, they're just like, okay, what exactly is that? So,
But like as a young person, I was very confused.
Right.
I was confused about HBCUs.
Right.
I didn't know why I should even go.
Right.
I was like, why do I go? Why do I gotta go? I can go to any school I want. You know, if I'm smart enough. Right.
Right.
That's kind of where my head was at. But only when I got older. I'm 40 now, and I think 38 or whatever when I started, and then I moved my kids. Like being a dad, I literally had to look into these things.
Right.
Like, what is discrimination? What defense do you have against things like that?
True.
Right. A lot of times it's just hearsay. Right. He said, she said stuff, and I didn't know how. I didn't even know about the word advocacy. I didn't know. I used to honestly think that. I felt like that organization was a little bit polarizing, trying to put black people against other people,
Understood.
and trying to be more self-establishing. And I was running a little bit counter to that because I've never really been in an environment that was all black, or I never had to. I always kind of felt an individualist mindset. I had an individualist mindset, and I had to fight for my career, fight for where I live, and work amongst people who did the same.
Right.
Only recently did I learn about all walks of life that incorporate NAACP, and really the culture mirroring the efforts that they want to have, right? So being welcoming, being from all walks of life, being accepting people who are transitional. A lot of people who do this are in the school system, oddly, because they engage with the youth council. When I go to the national convention, I see folks that are, it's my phys ed teacher drove us to the convention, and now we're competing. And then there's folks that are the college kids, obviously, that want to network and get in employment. And then there's churchgoers. A lot of pastors are presidents in the branch,
Right.
and then they bring their members, and they form organizations and their partnerships and stuff like that. So you really see, in my opinion, I thought that it was a bunch of very smart lawyers or something like that only did a specific job, and they were the ones that could determine what discrimination was and things like that, and they knew the magic sauce to fight against it. Right. That's what I thought. It was very, what would you call that? It was, I don't want to use the word delusional, but it was definitely not what it is, right? I had it misconstrued, right? So that was kind of where I was going with that question, right? To kind of get it all out there, where even before I joined, I thought that it was something that was a little bit magical, that was a little bit like you have to have a PhD, or you have to be a lawyer and know about the legal system and things like that. But yeah,
I
it's
think,
not.
like I said, the representation probably was a little bit off from like when we were growing up because it kind of died down and you really didn't see too much about it. Like you would see like the old reports of it, and you see the people out in the street, fist in the air and all that. And so that's probably where you got the perception of what you thought was in there. So with the new representation, especially with like when you told me that you were the president, I'm like, okay, young guy, you know what I'm saying? It must be some change going on in there, you know what I mean? And I don't know nothing about it to a certain degree. I know a little, but as far as the chapter here, I didn't know much about it. So with me seeing that you were the president, it definitely made me more open arms to explore about what was going on. So I think it's about the representation, about with your style and the way that you present yourself. You know what I mean? It'd be open arms for more people of our culture to join. And so I agree. Like I don't know if you're familiar with Divine Unity Community Church. That's one of the things that drew me in was Pastor Chris Johnson. He was sneakerhead as well. You know what I mean? So that's one of the first times I seen representation like that on a stage and preaching the word. So it gave me insight to go check it out, and I did, and I liked it. And I ended up meeting him personally. And his personality match, we talked about style a little bit. It wasn't always about the word, but he also dropped the jewels about the word in there as well. So like I said, it's just about, getting a little new blood in there and representing the culture correctly, or, you know what I mean? And so, and when you do that, then you'll gain more members and you'll engage better with the community. So.
Yeah, yeah.